Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I am checking my volume settings to make sure that they're good. Now, I wanted to let everybody know that for the first time in 5 years, today, in my in the private group after this, and you'll see when we do the cutoff, I will be talking about the island guy, but I'll be using his name for the first time because I can't do it on here. And I'm going to tell you what I really think has gone on in his ties with his ties to crypto, and what I really think has been going on for all these years. And I couldn't say it on regular social media, and so I will be saying it. I'm sitting here fooling my computer. I will be saying it today, and you wait till you see some of the ties that I've always known about, but I just couldn't talk about. Strap in. Now, this morning, you're looking at a tweet from Nick Burafedo over at Linkto. Linkto is one of my sponsors. Now, he tweeted this out this morning. We're expecting to, let me make sure. Okay. Let's see something here. Okay. It says, we're expecting to have Ripple back on the Linkto platform sometime today. So I decided I would give Nick Burafedo a call, put him on speakerphone, and let you hear it from him. Here we go.
Hey, DAI, thanks for having me on today. While you're in exile, if you need me to send you any food, let me know. I'll send over some food.
I need some pina coladas on this island.
I've raised my barbecue game recently, so maybe I'll send you some of that. Hey, I wanted to, I'm glad you invited me today because I wanted to let all your listeners know we've been out of Ripple on the platform for as long as 2 weeks. And today we're expecting Ripple to hit the platform again. So anyone that's interested in investing in Ripple, if you're looking to increase your position or take your first position, today would be a great day. And also, we have private equity now for all investors without barriers. So if you're interested in investing in Ripple private equity, please visit linkto.com. And thanks for having me on the show today.
All right. Okay. So there it was, Nick Burafedo from Linkto. Now, wanted to play this. This is Paul Tudor Jones. I think it's important to kind of lay out the state of the world right now on this channel.
Especially at the moment where we're all trying to make sense of a lot of senseless things. But let's start with Israel in terms of thinking about the geopolitical implications of this, but also how you think it's going to long-term and short-term affect markets.
Well, I think Israel, obviously it's a huge tragedy, but you have to put it in a larger geopolitical context, which is we now have possibly 3 theaters where we're going to have geopolitical challenges. We've got the Middle East and Israel, obviously the Ukraine and Russia, and then at some point down the road, Taiwan and China. So it's a really, I would say certainly since I was born, it might be the most threatening and challenging geopolitical environment that I've ever seen, because you have 4 nuclear powers.
How about because we're $33 trillion in debt and this country's bankrupt?
3 of whom are led by sociopaths, and that would be China, Russia, and North Korea.
Well, don't forget the United States. We're run by someone who doesn't even know their name.
Those leaders have zero accountability, responsibility to anyone but themselves, and they have not an ounce of humanity in their bones, because they regularly disappear both their friends and their enemies. And then the 4th, Iran, is led by someone who thinks God is talking to him and has avowedly said that they want to remove from this earth a nation state with probably the most brilliant people ever assembled within a national boundary. So it's a really challenging environment. If you think about it too much, I want my lucky color to be invisible, right? It's a very threatening time. So that is also happening. At the same time, the United States is probably in its weakest fiscal position since certainly World War II, with debt to GDP at 122%. So it's a really tough time for, I think, the moral voice of the world. Certainly been the leader since World War II. It's a really
moral voice. That's laughable. Now, he goes on later to, I don't know if it's in that interview, but I saw it going around today, that he's buying gold and Bitcoin. Well, I at least agree with this gold thing. Check this out. The gold price in China is separating from the fake gold price in the United States. Gold in China has surged to trade at its second highest premium on record compared to the international benchmark. That's when you hear international benchmark, think manipulated benchmark by the United States and other countries. Watch this closely. The Shanghai spot price was more than $112 an ounce higher than levels seen in London on Monday. You know the drill, folks. Go in the description of this video. You can go to Miles Franklin. You can use I've got my code in there. I think it's DAI Gold, and then you can call them or send them an email. And I've also got Glint in there, who's one of my sponsors too, and that you can contact Glint and then open a Glint account, buy gold, and have your debit MasterCard to buy it. Israeli police have reportedly frozen crypto accounts linked to Hamas. All right. I feel great having my gold and my XRP, folks. Now, speaking of XRP, or speaking of Ripple more specifically, Sybos has been going on, and this is a clip from the head of digital assets of JP Morgan. Listen to what he says. While you watch this, I'm going to show you JP Morgan, then I'm going to show you the head of digital assets for Citi. While you're watching, ask yourself, well, why haven't they been investigated for what they're doing by the SEC and stuck in a lawsuit for 3 years? Why is the SEC working with them? Come in and see us. Apparently JP Morgan and Citi can come in and see us and work with regulators, just since they're incumbents, but the rest of crypto can't do that. Listen, this is the JP Morgan. He runs digital assets there.
Not that complex.
JP Morgan has had a lot of sort of stuff in the press dealing with digital assets, dealing with crypto and blockchain. You know, can you talk us through some of the successes that JP Morgan has had using this technology with clients?
We built an information sharing network called Link, where we basically pre-validate transactions before they go across borders. So we would pre-validate the information about the person who's receiving them, which, by the way, is a major reason why transactions sometimes have operational issues. So it's an information network that's up and running, doing millions of transactions, on a weekly basis. Then you have our core money movement rails called JP Morgan Coin, and it sits within our coin systems business line within Onyx. There, we've started with something which was very simple, which is allowing our largest clients to move money across the world 24/7 in real time. And from there, we've evolved to much more complex things where we are now supporting entire ecosystems of players. Those could be financial players trying to do clearing within a single country or within a single jurisdiction. Those could be large industrial players that are trying to move money across their suppliers and buyers and creating a closed loop ecosystem. And then slowly we are progressing towards launching things like programmable payments, where you can trigger these payments based on anything, everything from FX rates to weather, to how quick something moves, to whether you're printing something. I mean, the possibilities are frankly endless, and we've had lots of traction. JP Morgan Coin has gone from what a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, was essentially one client, to now dozens of clients and increasing at an exceptionally fast pace and creating value, frankly, both for our clients and obviously for JP Morgan in the process.
Omar, thank you so much for...
Now, I want you to hear what Ryan Rugg, this is her right here, from Citi says. She runs the digital assets division there. Listen to what she says here.
It's really important, and Tony McLaughlin, who's one of my colleagues, I've heard at Sybos called the godfather of RLN, started this initiative. that it be an industry initiative, that not one bank or one entity to own this, to really solve these difficult problems, to start working together. And I think that's key in this. And like working with the Fed and then the US one, having a regulator involved is key also to really evolving this.
For Citi, how does the RLN actually fit into a broader digital asset strategy?
Yeah, so this week we announced the pilot transactions, our live pilot transactions for Citi token services for cash and for trade. So now what we can do is we can move tokenized deposits around Citi's, corridors. Right now it's just US and Singapore with aspirations of adding another 3 to 5 in the next near term. Well, it's great that we have this internal token, but our clients don't want a Citi token or another bank token. What they want is cross-bank, cross-border liquidity. So it's key that now that we have the infrastructure of the platform built internally, we work with like Regulated Liability Network and other participants about how do we solve these difficult issues as an industry. And there's still a lot of questions out there, but this FMI that RLN aspires to be is extremely positive because it brings the parties together in a very flat way where we all have equal say in it. We're working with the regulators closely to solve these difficult problems.
Well, thank you, Ryan.
Okay. Sounds interesting. Now, this is from Mr. Huber, LOL. The Ripple Zakanoff trial has just postponed for the 7th time. This case will see its trial 6.5 years after it started. So there it is right there, the trial date, 7/15/2024. Now, we are now entering the danger zone. This means that the only members will be allowed beyond this point. This is a censorship-free zone. You have to be an official member of the Digital Asset Investor channel to do this. You go to DAIXRP.com to do it. It's very dangerous in here. We talk about things you're not allowed to talk about on major social media platforms. We leave the cancel culture behind. All the people that think they are the ones who are supposed to tell you what you're allowed to talk about and not talk about because they are smarter than you. They are the all-knowing, and they have all the answers, and they are the ones that can dictate to you what you can and can't talk about. Well, we leave them behind here. I'm sure that people like that would probably love to infiltrate these groups, and I'm sure that they will, and they'll spend the $6 to do it. But what that really means is that they are just fans. They're fanatic fans. So welcome to the party. We're going to talk about corruption. We're going to talk about all the nasty stuff going on in this world. They will call us conspiracy theorists behind here, and that's okay because this is DAIXRP.com where we talk about stuff. And today, you know what we're going to talk about? That island guy, and we're going to use his name. And I'm going to tell you what I've been wanting to say for 5 years and tie some of these things together. So here we go. If you're in the membership group, you're about to hear my intro, which is the Kenny Loggins Danger Zone. Here we go. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that it is on like Donkey Kong in my private group. Thanks for listening.